applied at Best Buy close to 2 weeks ago. Nobody contacted me after I did an interview online and had it recorded video responses. They apparently have over 160 something people that applied for the job I was looking at. You know what's crazy, y'all? No shade to this place though. I ain't gonna say the name, cause I ain't gonna say the name. No shade. It just wasn't for me. And to be honest, my parents was like, I don't think it was for you either. But I had that same thing happen to me too. So, little story time, you know. I applied to a store back in October. Was it like October, November? November, right? And I went to the interview, and here's the thing. Let's call it Schmidt Schmo. So I applied to this store called Schmidt Schmo. Okay. And basically, I went to the interview. They hit me back up. They called me. Somebody called me and was like, hi, is this so-and-so? I was like, yes, this is she. So we saw your application and we would love to have an interview with you. I was like, okay, great. Like, I'm down for Monday. Oh, here's the time. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, we did all that. I'm dressed up. I know I try to look professional. You know, I'm going to the interview. And I get there and they're just like, could you sit in the back? Where the furniture is at. All right, I'm sitting in the back waiting. I'm looking around. There we go. All right, we're back. Okay, so you sit down. A man comes out then. All right, that's what we're ending. We'll start it from right there. For those who were here, we're gonna start it from right there. So I applied to Schmo, whatever we named the store. I'm sitting down in the building. Okay, they said, oh, your person will be out soon. Can you go sit in the back where the furniture is and just wait? And I was like, okay. I sat on a desk. I didn't sit on the desk. You know, no. I sat at a desk. I was like, okay, you know, looking around at the furniture, whoop-de-doo. A man comes out from the back room. And he's like, okay, hi, you know, shakes my hand, all that type of stuff. Hi. So, we move over to another area, y'all. Like another desk area where the furniture is. Now, mind you, I'm doing this interview in public while everybody is still shopping around. Luckily, there was not a lot of people around shopping. But we didn't go to like a private room. We didn't go to a room and do this interview. This interview was like out in the open, in a corner somewhere. So I'm like, okay, great. So I'm just out here like, okay, great. Now, Teeny said a man. So then he's asking me questions, you know, he asked the questions like, okay, so how's your availability? And, you know, are you able to lift this? And what would you be more comfortable working at? And all that type of stuff. All the casual stuff. You know, I told him my availability. I told him what I do. Currently, like I do this, you know, I told him, but I can come in earlier, things like that. I would prefer earlier mornings to afternoon or whatever, you know. So he's writing down on his notepad, and I don't know, he was just like, at the end of it, oh, I didn't even mention like, okay, he was like, so the position I applied for, let me just put this out there. The position I applied for was for like sales associate cashier, right? Cool. Okay. Sales associate cashier. He asked me, would you be comfortable handling the printing or the stocking, like the stocking up of, you know, stuff, or, you know, the paper cutting or whatnot. So I told him, I said, I am open to, you know, replenishing the floor. You know what I mean? Like stacking up, like checking inventory, all that type of stuff. I'm cool with that. But I told him I'm open to learning about, okay, printing or getting people's prints done. Cause I have some experience with printing photos and stuff because of school. Okay, great. Cool, great. He was just like, okay. Writes it down on his notepad. And, you know, after a while, I was getting this feeling in me. I was getting this feeling in me, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get this job. And I wasn't like upset or anything. I was just kind of like, I don't think I'm gonna get this. Because of the way he was just like, well, after he said this one statement, he was like, well, we have a lot of people, who apply for this job, and we will let you know in 2 weeks' time if you are, if we move forward with you or not. I said, okay. I didn't say it like that. I didn't say, okay. I said, okay, thank you. When you say that just makes me think like, okay, whoop-de-doo. Like, you got many people applying to be a cashier at a supply store. But I didn't want to say anything. I was just like, thank you for the opportunity. I will be waiting to hear a call back if I do. Y'all, it is 2026 of February. The man said 2 weeks. I should hear back in 2 weeks if I get accepted or not. We in a whole new year. Where's the call? Yeah, I ain't get that job. That's all I just want to say. I ain't get that job. So, like I said, I felt something in my spirit. I was just like, okay, this job ain't for me. I ain't upset or anything, but come on, hit a girl up. Tell me if I got the job or not. What if I really was like concerned and was like, oh, where's the, hey, I didn't hear nothing back. And keep in mind, I had this interview back in November. So job interviews to me just seem so fake sometimes. Thank you for your time and wasting mine. Thank you for wasting my time. So yeah, y'all, that's the story of my second job interview. At this point, I've been looking for stuff still, and I'm fine. Like, I'm not stressed about it. I've been looking for stuff still, remote and in person, whatever the case may be. God gonna make a way, and that way gonna be made. So we here, we thriving. November, girl, what? Yes, November of 2025. Yes,